Season 2 Reloaded is a strange update because I find myself really feeling like there is nothing to do. But that is the strange thing about Black Ops Cold War in general. There's a lot to do, but it's mostly tedious, grindy type things like unlocking Dark Ether camos, completing random challenges, or gathering intel. I know this is going to sound a bit ungrateful, but for those grindy type elements for a game, those should be a staple. What we need is more content, and that's not what we got. And the reason things feel so sparse are because Treyarch has taken an entirely different approach to this game. They've decided to spread the content out thinly across all modes, but have more modes. We have campaign, 6v6 multiplayer, 3v3 multiplayer, fireteam, warzone, and zombies, and they all share a ton of the same assets. And if they are not spreading content thinly across modes, then they are locking game modes behind exclusivity, aka Onslaught. The days of old where we had a campaign, multiplayer, and zombies, which were more or less flushed out, are gone. And instead, we are getting a bunch of tapas as opposed to a whole meal. Now, I'm not saying this approach is necessarily bad, but for myself, it feels a bit lacking. And with Season 2 Reloaded, we have received a ton of quality of life changes, most of them for the better. Some stuff in Warzone, 2 new guns, 2 new operators, a reused night variant map for Outbreak, a smaller day version of Miami, and a new 3v3 map called Mansion. And I gotta be honest with you guys, this feels pretty lame. The guns are cool, I'm always happy to have more weapons being added to the roster, but the operators, I just don't care about that. Not in a first-person shooter, what the hell's the point? What really bothers me most about this update is Treyarch calling bug fixes content. Now, I'm glad that they're fixing bugs and things like that, but placing it in their blog as a feature is very misleading, and that stuff belongs on the patch notes in my personal opinion. And now onto the maps. Miami Strike is actually a very good variant map, and I like it a lot. It's fast-paced, it's much better than the original, you can see, but apparently, and I have to confirm this for myself, I was looking on Twitter and people were saying this, they took the original 6v6 Miami map from the playlist, so now there's no change to the amount of maps in the 6v6 playlist rotation. They just took out the night variant, kept it in the fire team or the 10v10 maps or whatever the hell those are, and just put the Miami Strike in there, leaving the playlist map amount utterly unchanged. Mansion is the new 3v3 map, and I gotta say, this is actually original content, and it's really good. I like this map. Why can't Treyarch do more stuff like this? What the hell? Sanatorium was added to Outbreak, which is a nighttime variant of the Fireteam map. Treyarch also added motorcycles and called that new content, but those have been in the game since launch or just after launch. Basically, for the whole entire life cycle of the game, motorcycles have been there. They're in zombies now, which is new content. So out of the whole entire update, all that's brand new is 2 new weapons, 2 new operators, if you consider that content, and a 3v3 map. Awesome. Now, I know that the devs reuse assets, and I'm totally okay with that, but Activision is worth billions of dollars. Why can't they afford to hire more developers or put more money into the game or do something to satisfy their fans other than this carrot on a stick type BS? I really don't understand how Treyarch can call this an update. It's actually really bad, and fans are pissed on Twitter, and they're definitely letting them know. I'm sorry for being negative. I don't like to always do that, but I think this situation calls for it. Let's talk about Sanatorium for a bit, since this is more of a zombies channel and the new updates Treyarch added to Onslaught, which I think you may be surprised that these Onslaught changes were added just now and not a long time ago. Anyways, I digress. Sanatorium feels more empty than any of the other Outbreak maps. The nighttime atmosphere is really cool. I like how blue and purple it is. It's really amazing, and it looks even sweeter with all of the enemies and their color palettes mixed in with your character and your perks activating. It's pretty sweet. I actually think Treyarch added some graphic fidelity changes because I think the graphics look a little better. I can't prove this, but they definitely look a little better. However, you can't see a damn thing in Sanatorium. I was surprised that I actually found myself not liking the nighttime aesthetic because, and I really didn't expect this, but Treyarch made the map so dark you can't see what you're doing. And one of the things I like about Outbreak is being able to have a clear line of sight for completing objectives and getting around. And since mantling is such a big part of Black Ops Cold War, and I need to know where I'm going when I'm driving your brand new motorcycles that are apparently original content, I mean, you just can't see where you're going. And Sanatorium's nighttime atmosphere just messes this up. It really messes up gameplay and game flow. Another thing that Sanatorium brings to light, no pun intended, is how boring Outbreak is. And now maybe I'm just not used to the 4th map being in the rotation yet, but having a whole new map inside of the Outbreak map rotation actually makes things feel even more drawn out and more boring. And I enjoy the zip lines that are all around Sanatorium. It's actually pretty fun, a nice extra feature for just getting around. But for the most part, I think Sanatorium does a disservice to Outbreak rather than enhance it. Now, I think I'm going to make a whole separate video about this, but we'll touch on it here for a second since it's part of the update. But Treyarch has added a whole new mode to Onslaught, which this mode is a limited time mode in the Onslaught mode, which is locked behind PlayStation 5 exclusivity. Super stupid. It's called Contaminant, and it's a faster paced Onslaught mode, and they've made a bunch of changes inside of the meta of the mode for the better. I've said mode 7,000 times. It's quite annoying. You can upgrade and pack-a-punch your weapons in Onslaught with items that drop from the zombies, and you can upgrade it to legendary as well as upgrade your armor all the way to level 3. And since the mode is played on the smaller 3v3 maps, it feels much faster paced, and it actually feels like zombies rather than some weird Treyarch multiplayer zombies stupid thing, whatever the hell they were trying to do. It's really strange that they've added to this mode because the community really doesn't like Onslaught, so why not just put your resources to new multiplayer maps and new zombies maps rather than just make a mode that nobody likes better? I don't know. I don't really understand why they did it. Maybe that's why, to make it better so people would like it. But if it's a limited time mode, then you're just going to go back to the original crappy mode after a couple of weeks. So what was the point of this? And it's only for PlayStation people, so 2/3 of the community can't even play it. I don't know. This update is very weird, and I really think that Treyarch screwed the pooch here by calling this Season 2 Reloaded. It's a minor season update at best, and while I appreciate how hard the devs work, and this video is not a slight at them, I think as a fan base, we need to let Treyarch know when they have done well and when they've done poorly. And calling this an update when there's only one original map in the whole thing and it's a 3v3 minimap, I mean, that's just sad. And I don't think fans care when devs reuse assets, especially if they reuse them well. But Treyarch is just reusing maps and shifting things around on other maps to make them smaller or larger, and then calling them updates when they are just merely high tier quality of life changes. I really hope Activision or Treyarch or whoever is behind this terrible update realizes their mistakes and improves a tremendous amount for when Season 3 arrives, because this was just disappointing. Well, that's going to do it for today's video. I really appreciate you watching. If you've made it this far, please consider giving the video a like and subscribing if you are new, and turning on notifications for more commentaries and cinematic reviews. That's my style. That's my thing. I hope you enjoy. My name is Alex, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.